Today on Exposed, the Calo podcast, for the first time, restrictions are being placed on Americans traveling to Europe. Amazing. Also, both Trump and Biden held a rally in PA. Biden is almost as popular as Trump.
The point is, we ask so much of you, so much of you.
Next, breaking news. The White House just released a report detailing foreign expenditure. Here it is.
Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain.
Plus, a black woman appeared on Dr. Phil claiming she's superior to other blacks because she believes she's actually white. She's not. And finally, the Biden campaign released new ads this week featuring the Obamas begging Americans for just $5. All this and more today on Exposed, the Calo podcast. If you have any travel plans outside of the country, heading over to Europe, things are different. Things are different today. All of it's coming together. Everything is coming together for global domination, basically. And this is a part of it. U.S. travelers needing to get prior authorization in order to go to Europe. I mean, you want to go to Switzerland, you want to go to France, Italy, wherever it might be. You have to get prior approval in advance. So what this means is that our faces, we're going to have digital pictures taken of us. There's going to be fingerprints taken from everybody who travels overseas. And the new system is called ETIAS, E-T-I-A-S. And it means European Travel Information and Authorization System. Now, here's the irony. The European Union decided to implement this new travel authorization program, listen, here it is, to protect and strengthen its borders amid mounting terror threats in Europe. You don't see the irony in this? I mean, here we are in America. They got the borders wide open, everybody coming from anywhere in the nation, and we don't know who's coming in. And yet Europe has these strict new regulations coming in. You see the contrast? It's in order to protect Europe, okay, who is already really far down the road as far as, governance being global, and the United States, who is not, trying to bring us down a few notches to bring us in line with the rest of the world. So this applies to just about anyone going into Europe from the United States. And the European countries involved are 23, plus 4, included in there is 4 non-EU countries. And this system is engaged with another system called EES. So they have ETIAS combined with EES, which is an electronic surveillance system, which is going to keep track of visitors to European nations, anyone that crosses the border. So they're going to be using facial recognition technology to track you. I mean, this is worse than China. It's absolutely crazy. Biometric and biographic data registration is happening through this EES system. And all this information is going to go into new databases. It's going to be added to profiling tools, and a watch list is coming out of this so that they will know who you are, where you're going, where you're staying, and why you're traveling. I don't know about you, but this is a dangerous concept. And this new watch list idea is going to contain everyone who travels to Europe. And in there, they will have, you labeled. Are you a potential threat? Are you a potential, criminal? All of this kind of reminds me of a movie. Here's the clip. It reminds me of a movie called The Minority Report.
Look at me. Positive for Howard Marks. I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dubin that was take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours and 4 minutes.
No.
The future can be seen in advance, and they arrest you. It sounds crazy, but this is where we're headed. The biometric data of up to 1 million or more children will also be stored as part of this process. The rules require the collection of various types of personal data, including, listen, education, employment, criminal records, and more. All non-UN, must be the day today. All non-EU citizens will effectively be guinea pigs. That's who we are, guinea pigs being used in their system. And as far as the Europeans go, they don't see any problem with this. In fact, there's been no scrutiny about it, no questions about it. It just went through. And that's because they really don't care because it's not affecting them directly. Speaking of scrutiny, is it time we put America first, concerning our own money and where money is going and how we spend money all around the world? Here's this clip.
Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Portugal, France, England, Denmark, and Spain.
All of these countries are getting our money. Now, some of them I know are strong allies, and, we need to support them, and we need to do what we can to, help them implement democracy and things like that. But all of these countries are not interested in democracy. All of these countries are not our allies nor friends. And so, really, what's this all about? Well, it's all about politicians who are on the take. See, anytime we give money, there should be some scrutiny on where that money is going and how that money is spent. But unfortunately, there is hardly any checks and balances on money when it's sent overseas. Just recently, they're trying to get more money to give to Ukraine, and $30 billion of the money that they want to send to Ukraine is given without restriction and without accountability. $30 billion? Of course, Zelensky can do whatever he wants with that. That's going to be his escape hatch, being able to get away. So it's only $1 billion here and $1 billion there. I mean, hey, it's no big deal. After all, not much is a big deal these days. And that's because the cultural insanity is growing in leaps and bounds. Hey, we can choose to be whoever we want.
African Americans are loud, rude, obnoxious, and just altogether fat and ugly.
Destroy her black dolls. They were the white dolls' slaves.
My mom bought me beautiful white dolls instead of buying me the ugly, big-lipped black doll. I was not anything like other black people. They were all hood rats and they were all ghetto. They all act like monkeys.
Like, I hate black people's hair, they're dirty. She would call them the N-word.
It made me feel good to put down an African American person because it helps them stay in their place. They're all gorillas.
My daughter is consumed with the Ku Klux Klan.
Call KKK. White is right.
Age, do you think she's delusional?
Without doubt.
Black people are gang members.
She's a gorilla, hood rat, or dark-skinned girls are so ugly.
I said black people are pigs. They deserve to be in jail. I'm white. My nose is not giant as like African Americans. Ears, I don't have black people ears because they're really giant. No? But when it comes to black people, I think they're all ugly and I have nothing in common with them. My figure is just like Kim Kardashian and she's a wonderful role model. Different levels, like, okay, African Americans are here, I'm here.
I don't know. I mean, do we just chalk this up to insanity? Do we say that, maybe she's just trying to get attention? I've tried to do a little more research to find out who she is and, what she's doing in her social media channels, but there's really not much out there about this. So, she hasn't become famous or anything, at least not yet. But sorry to say, you're black. I mean, I don't know what other way to put it. But there is a price to pay for this kind of insanity, and giving these people a stage, like Dr. Phil. I mean, of course, I can see where Dr. Phil might be able to help this girl. I would hope so. But what do we do when things like this happen in daily life? And it's happening more and more every single day. What kind of a price is she going to pay for basically talking down her own race? I mean, I don't think it's right. I mean, she should be proud that she's black. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, I don't have a racist bone in my body, but then again, today, everywhere you go, everything seems to be about race. This girl is definitely, though, not white. That's a fact. It's scientific, and it's truth. I've been trying to follow up and find out just exactly what advice Dr. Phil has been giving her or has given her. But as soon as I do, we're going to report on it, believe me. Listen, speaking of facts, Biden had an amazing rally. And I think Trump, he might have to change his strategy.
Than anything else? You realize that? The point is, we ask so much of you, so much of you.
$80 million votes my eye. Okay, there's no way that old guy got 80 million votes in 2020. But we're not going to go there. We're not going back down that rabbit hole. But, I mean, here's two rallies in Pennsylvania. And in general, you know, Pennsylvania really should be a red state. And the only reason why some areas are blue and, you know, it's kind of gone blue in the past is because of the major cities, which is kind of where they dump all the illegal immigrants these days. But in any case, none of them are coming out to the rally either. I mean, if you had 100 people in that room, it would be kind of a miracle compared to thousands of people jamming a stadium singing a song. It was powerful. What a powerful difference. But yet the news media is doing everything that they can to hide these real facts from us. But yet they're talking it all up as if Biden's doing such an awesome job. I mean, I'm beginning to wonder myself. I've seen some new ads that the Biden administration has just released.
Here's 5 reasons why I'm asking you to donate $5 to my campaign with some help from a friend. Hey, Barack.
Hey, Joe.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Number 1, our last campaign was powered by donations from grassroots supporters like you.
Number 2, your donations are the reason President Biden won the last election. And when he won, he built on our progress with the ACA. He passed the biggest climate bill in world history. And he brought our economy back from crisis. That's because of you.
Number 3, we got a lot more progress to make, protecting voting rights, protecting Social Security and Medicare, fighting for our fundamental freedom to love, to make your own health care choices, and to read certain books to your kids. We can't do it without you.
Number 4, Joe might even call you.
Not a joke. And number 5, we're up against the first real fundraising deadline in the campaign, and we need you with us. It really makes a difference to me, and I really appreciate it. So take it from me.
And me.
And go to joebiden.com to join our campaign.
He brings in Barack Obama to help him? I don't understand. Barack Obama, why would he need Barack Obama if he got 80 million people that voted for him in 2020? It's crazy. Together, these two are joining up in order to get Americans to give $5 to the campaign.
I've made the preservation of American democracy the central issue of my presidency. I believe in free and fair elections and the right to vote fairly and have your vote counted. There's something dangerous happening in America. There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy. All of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy? History's watching. The world is watching. And most important, our children and grandchildren will hold us responsible. The Vice President and I have supported voting rights since day one of this administration, and I ask every American to join me in this cause. America is still a place of possibilities where the power resides with we, the people. That's our soul. We are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message. Joe, hey, who is that standing next to you in the Oval Office? Your granddaughter? Which one? Oh, it wasn't the one that you don't recognize, huh? Yeah, that's right. And you're trying to give your, little preaching to us as if we're so much less than you. And you're just so much better. And the rest of us crazy people and the conservative right, we're the problem.
Freedom. Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans. There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred. That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
Okay, I can't take no more. Just stop it there, because freedom, that's what you worked on in your freedom. Americans, we've lost freedoms since you've taken office. Look what you're doing to Donald Trump, an innocent man accused 91 different federal counts or whatever of felonies, potentially, tried to take him off the ballots. And thankfully, thankfully, we got a great Supreme Court that stood up for truth, stood up for righteousness, stood up for the Constitution of the United States, and kept Trump on the ballots in all the states. So, don't tell me you're for freedom. If you were for freedom, you would have put a stop to this. You would have stood up. If you were the right man, Joe Biden, you would have stood up and you would have said something like, hey, you know what? We should win this battle fair and square. And we're not going to do all of these shenanigans as far as it goes with, voting boxes and, ballots being mailed out to dead people and all that. No, we're going to do it the right way. But will you? No. And the reason is, you're so used to putting out a narrative of something that you actually don't even believe in yourself. You flip-flopped on just about all of these different topics, including illegal aliens, which is the number one issue right now for the 24 campaign. All of these lies are not going to help you at all. The border, that's going to be the determining factor in November. The border is the issue, but it's all going to come down to the facts that are coming out slowly but surely on the table. The facts on the table are murder is on the rise due to illegal aliens entering into this country. Right now, we got more single military-aged young men coming through our border than ever before. There's a picture on your screen. Now, where are the women here? Hello? I don't see any. I don't see any men dressed as women either. So what's going on here? These are all military-age young men coming into our country from God only knows what countries, including Syria and all these other places that really don't like Americans all that much. And when asked, who are you going to vote for? Biden. They don't know anything. All they know is they're coming to America to get something free. That's what they're doing. Asylum seekers right here. This picture, these are asylum seekers waiting to be processed at camp near the U.S.-Mexican border, east of Jacamba, San Diego County, California. This is happening on a regular basis in America. But the bill that the Democrats and Biden have been trying to push as far as, borders and protecting of our borders. They call it the Border Protection Bill or something along that lines. It has nothing to do with that. This bill is supposedly going to increase ICE detention capacity from 34,000 to 50,000. That sounds really good. Wow, you're going to detain more people. They're not even using detention right now. ICE has 0 people in detention right now. And the sanctuary cities are not working with ICE in order to arrest any criminals. So all of this is nothing but rhetoric. So what makes us believe that this border bill is going to change anything? Because it isn't. Biden's pushing the narrative along with the Senate Democrats that this new bill is going to give Biden the ability to be able to shut down the border. So let's read the bill. Well, the government would be forced to shut down the border at times where there is a 7-day rolling average of 5,000 encounters per day or 8,500 encounters in a single day. So let's add that up. 35,000 people a week coming through the border. Or 8,500 in any single day. So 35,000 people, 1.8 million people can come through our border on a regular basis, on an annual basis. The government doesn't have to be shut down. The border doesn't have to be shut down. So what are they changing? They're not changing anything. All they're doing is making sure they have future Democrat voters to be put on the voter rolls. And on top of that, this bill goes on to say, when encounters approach 4,000 people a day, the U.S. government would be granted the power to voluntarily turn away people at all border stations. Oh, well, see, Biden's going to shut down the border. No, he's not. President Trump, executive order, and close the border. This is nothing but lies put on paper. They're trying to say that they're going to fast track asylums and asylum processing. None of that is true. What they're going to do is hire more border agents in order to be nanny babysitters at the border, processing paperwork and asking them what their pronouns are, because that's what they're pushing. So this is how the media is pushing this particular bill. Look on your screen, you'll see a picture. And this is the way that they're portraying this bill. Meet the Press, because we know that, Meet the Depressed is an excellent show. Senators unveil bipartisan bill to impose tougher asylum and border laws. They make it sound, wow, this is great. This is what we need to have. But that's not really the truth. Conservative senators are against this bill, they say, because Donald Trump egged them on. So they're trying to blame it all on Trump. Let's look at the next slide there, if you will. Bipartisan border deal would not allow 5,000 illegal crossings per day, despite what Trump says. That's a lie. I just read it to you. They can have up to 8,500 people coming through in a day. None of this is true. It's all rhetoric that they're using to prop up Joe Biden to make him look like he really knows what he's doing. Not only that, there's one more provision in this border bill that I want to just bring out so we understand. And the bill states that the border couldn't be shut down for more than 270 days in the first year. And the bill would give the president the power to suspend border closure on an emergency basis for up to 45 days if it is in the national interest. Okay. Again, something that makes him sound presidential. Well, I could shut down the border at any time if it's up to our national interest or if we find some, people coming through the border that are dangerous. They can care less. They're not vetting those coming through the border right now. So this administration has, truthfully, no desire whatsoever to shut down the border because they need to bring in as many people as possible. And it doesn't matter whether they're good guys, bad guys, it makes no difference. All of it is because it means more money. See, if they pass a new bill, they form new possibilities for new departments, new regulations, needing more people. The government gets bigger. The cookie monster, as I always talk about, is growing and growing in leaps and bounds. So before these illegals will ever be allowed to vote in federal elections, well, what has to happen? Nothing. Well, what do you mean nothing? Nothing has to happen. See, in New York, they're already given an ability to be able to vote in local elections. And what has to happen for them to vote in federal elections? Nothing. The only thing that needs to happen is we grant them amnesty. We grant them amnesty. And what are they working on right now? What's the news media working on? Amnesty. What are they trying to push right now? Amnesty. Why are they flooding the country with unknown tens of thousands, millions of people coming through the border, between 8 million and 15 million? As I believe it's going to be on the higher end, 15 to 20 million potential people into this country, and grant them amnesty, because that means at that point, the moment the gavel goes down and they grant amnesty, those people are all able to vote. By that time, they will have all been disseminated to different parts of the country, all in these larger cities, sanctuary cities, And then there, depending on their culture and their background, they will be able to elect the people that they choose to represent them in the halls of Congress. And what kind of people do you think they'll be? Well, if they come from a Muslim and Islam nation, they'll be electing more Islam, more Muslim people, like Rashida Tlaib, like Ilhan Omar. Are these the kind of people we want running our government? That's what's going to happen. It will increase more and more, eventually to the point where it'll be impossible for a Republican to even be able to hold office. Take a look at this clip.
Today, my administration is taking several steps to stiffen enforcement for those who try to come without a legal right to stay, and to put in place a faster process, I emphasize a faster process, to decide a claim of asylum. Someone says, I'm coming because I'm escaping oppression. Well, there's got to be a way to determine that much quicker for people who are credibly seeking protection from persecution. First, if they're seeking asylum, they can use an app on their cell phone called...
Okay, here it is. We could stop it there. CBP1. There's the app that they can get before coming to this country. They could download it. They could download while they're in Panama or while they're en route, wherever. And these guys all sound like a broken record. Oh, no, we're going to control. Sure, they're going to control. They're telling them what they need to say on the app. On the app, they don't even have to prove who they are. They don't have to prove their name. They don't have to prove or document their background. They get to show zero proof of their identity, of who they are. I am Mickey Mouse. I am Joe Biden Jr. They could be anybody that they want. They can claim to, and here's the key words. I need asylum from the United States because my life is in danger in the country in which I reside. If they say that, as he just said, you heard him, they're going to expedite the process of asylum, which expedites the process of what? Giving them the ability to vote. Let's watch this.
But sadly, people on the other side of the aisle have been playing politics with this issue. The solutions are at hand. And, gone are the days, sadly, where a President Bush or John McCain understood that we should have a bipartisan approach to fixing this problem, which is a long-standing problem.
But what are those solutions?
The solutions include putting resources at the border to do what we can to process people effectively, and putting in place laws that actually allow for a meaningful pathway to citizenship.
I understand, Kamala. Thank you so much, because I didn't really get that. The border is broken, and we need comprehensive border reform. And they said that from day one. The first bill that they sent in was a bill for border reform. And what she said was true. That's what she did. But at the same time, Barack Obama rescinded all the previous orders of President Trump in order to allow the border to be open, knowing that Republican-led House wasn't going to approve the crazy things that they were requesting. So basically, this was a plan from day one to infiltrate our country with all kinds of people. Let's look at the next clip.
And yet there's progressives who are very angry about dreamers, about a pathway to citizenship not being included in the latest negotiations on these issues.
Well, I won't speak to the current negotiations and the status of the current negotiations, but I will tell you that dreamers, under, sadly, some of the draconian approaches to them have been treated very badly, and that we have to understand who our dreamers are. First of all, in the height of the pandemic, it was so many dreamers who are frontline workers.
It's true.
And working on saving lives.
There were so many of them working in front lines during COVID. The dreamers, they were working to save our lives. Oh, God. Geez, Kamala, you're breaking my heart. Like I said, all this comes down to, votes.
Short term, we need a safe, orderly, and humane border policy. And long term, we need to invest in the root causes of migration.
Long term, we need to invest in the root causes of migration. Well, the root cause is you, baby. You and Biden are the ones that are the root cause, because you made it known to the world, as you said, and as Biden said, come to America. Our borders are open. We want you. We'll give you money. We'll feed you. We'll put you up in $400 a night hotels. And if they don't have the food you like, we're going to order the food that fits your culture. How's that? And then we're going to give you some debit cards. Because if you're not happy with the food we're providing you, you can go out and buy your own kind of food. Because that's America. And that's who we are. My friends, this is all about taking control of our nation from the inside out, destroying American culture. See, sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, they allow these immigrants, these illegals, basically, to do as they please, to act as they please. There's no requirement in place for them to become or assimilate into America, to become American citizens. To go through the process of being an American citizen, you're taught to respect America, to respect its laws, to respect its governance. You're taught more history than most of our kids are taught in school today. The citizenship process is actually very strong still in America, but they're also working to change that too, which is for another show, believe it or not. This is all part of the transformation, transforming America that Obama promised back in his first term, when he was running anyhow, back in 2012. And we're seeing right now before our very eyes Obama's plan coming to pass. So I want us to look at a sanctuary map. That's right. This is a map of all of the different cities listed and states listed around the country where we have sanctuary. So people can come from another nation and come here and seek sanctuary, asylum, if you will, in a form, in a sense, and be protected from ICE, be protected from the federal government, be protected. Here's that map. You're looking at it. These are all the cities in all the states. There's over 500 of them anyhow, just so you know. The map can't possibly contain them all. Cities, states, counties, where people can go and be protected even if they commit a crime. So I come into your city, and I decide that, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I don't have what it takes, whatever. So I got to go steal it. And because I'm so poor, so destitute, so hungry, if I steal it, you won't arrest me because I'm just a poor indigent and have nowhere else to go. And, I'm only doing it out of desperate need. So I'm just getting some food for my families. And of course, that's not what they're doing. They're ravaging, stores to the point where they're closing all across our nation. So this is what we have here. It's really all about votes. Democrats need to maintain control across the nation through all of the larger cities to ensure that they win in the Electoral College, and they'll even win the popular vote because the major concentration of population is in the bigger cities all across our nation. You need to start speaking up, going to your local town hall, going to your local state or whatever it might be, and voicing your opinion. Because when here in Connecticut, where I live, we have two counties, two areas that are sanctuary, and they are changing the redistricting of voters so that they can include the areas that have the larger population cities in order to control who wins the elections. Because in these large cities, we have all of these immigrants who are basically voting Democrat because they're getting all of these free things. So, as I said, it's all about votes. Hey, listen, I hope you like our show. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit subscribe, send us a note, send us some topics you might want us to consider or talk about. Hey, election is only a couple of months away. It's time we pass the word. We need to save this nation. I'm Mike Calo. Thanks for watching Exposed, the Calo podcast. God bless you, and God bless the country, great nation of the United States of America.